there. Okay, I'm Jennifer Carr, independent future executive senior sales director. And so I am doing this video for you guys today. This is new consultant session 2. And this is actually one of my very first videos that I've ever done for new consultant training. So hopefully this will go okay. All right, so I am really hoping that this session will help a lot of you. I am going to start out by talking about how to split your money, and you can run a great business if you split your money well, and if you manage your money well. I know I have messed up lots of times with money, and so I've learned hard lessons just like a lot of people have. But you guys, you can really run a successful business as long as you handle your money properly. I think that the top 2 things that can really kill people's businesses is mismanaging your money and mismanaging your time, right? So we're going to kind of talk about both of those. First and foremost, I want to make sure that you have a separate checking account for your business. That is one of the most important things to make sure that you do. And listen, this is not to like hide money from your significant other, your spouse, your boyfriend, whoever. It is just simply to make sure the flow of money is only, that Mary Kay money is flowing through one account. And so that, and you can even write yourself a check. You know, you can say, hey, I'm going to write myself a check from my Mary Kay party, and you can opt to do that every single time you make a deposit. You can opt to do that once every 2 weeks, once a month, however it is you want to pay yourself, okay? But you need to make sure money is flowing through just one account, like just for Mary Kay. It's going to make things really much easier at the end of the year as well for taxes. We don't have a lot of tax book stuff we need to do, thank goodness, because I wouldn't be here today. I don't know a lot about taxes, but I know that having everything flow through just one account instead of like mixing it into your personal monies, that can be really complicated. It can look like you all of a sudden have tons of money and you don't. If you and your spouse or boyfriend or whoever you're sharing your account with, if you see all of that money that just goes in there, it just all of a sudden can look like, oh, look at all this money we have to spend, when really it's just a portion of that money. So you can almost look at it like embezzlement. I know that's a bad scary word, but you don't want to embezzle from your own company. So you need to make sure that you put the money into the account and then you make decisions with it, okay? So we're going to talk about the 60-40 split, and I'm going to make sure that you have these documents that you can print off. So this is the first one that we're going to be going over, and I'm not going to hold it up the whole time I'm talking about it. I'm going to have it down on this table right here so I can read off of it, but this is what I'm going to be reading off of first, okay? So the 60-40 split, Mary Kay Ash taught this method of money management. 60% of your weekly earnings should be reinvested into your business. So when you go make your deposit, 60% of that needs to stay there. You're going to reorder with that, and then you're going to have a little 10% cushion for your sales tax and your sales aids and all that good stuff, okay? And then 40% of that is going to be your profit, and that is what you're going to pay anything else out of. You're going to pay any of your expenses out of your business. If you have a loan on your business, you're going to pay out of that. And until you're a debt-free business, and until you've paid off your loan to yourself or whatever, hostess gifts, office supplies, investments for your future, special registration fees for like seminar and career conference and all the special events that we go to. So that's going to come out of that green account. But look at it like pink account and green account. Pink account is the 60%, and that's your pink. That's your Mary Kay money that you need to reinvest what you've sold. Okay, and the green account is going to be whatever you can pull out of that. That's your profit. Okay, so that's the green part's your money. That's what you get to have. So one way you could do it is you could go and you could have just one Mary Kay checking account, put everything in there, and then write yourself a paycheck. Okay, write yourself a check. So you could either do it based on as soon as you make a deposit after a party, or you could do it once every 2 weeks. You could pay yourself a check, or you could do it once a month, just whichever it is that you decide is going to be good for you. But really, really try hard not to get into that account unless it's for Mary Kay, okay? Like you don't want to be using that for just everything in your life, you know? So anyway, I really like this visual though, because it just helps you visualize pink account and green account. So I'd like for you guys to have that handout just because it's kind of nifty. But I strongly encourage people in my unit to also get in the habit of paying yourself for your own product that you take off the shelf. I don't have any products sitting right here. I could like do a little like, but you know, if you've got your inventory, let's say that thing's sitting back there, let's say that had all your product in it, and you just keep taking stuff whenever you need it, have sales slips sitting there, have something sitting there where you're jotting stuff down that, like my office assistant, I actually take the product out of the box when I take it for like going upstairs because I'm washing my face that night or whatever and I'm out of cleanser. I go grab the cleanser and I take it out of the box and I throw my boxes into this little bin. And then I count the boxes. I have my office assistant actually count those boxes, and that's all my personal use stuff. So that's just the system I've come up with. But write yourself a sales slip. Pay yourself for that product. Do something so you're tracking it, okay? It's also, hold on just a second. Let me look at my notes here. Okay, well, we won't worry about that part. Okay, we're gonna go on to time management. I think you kind of get the idea with money management, how important it is. You just want to make sure that you're splitting your money well. Do it from the very beginning so you don't get any bad habits. Because I've had times where I've just gone through these like valleys with managing my money, and it's just so much easier just straight across the board to start from the very get-go. And this is new consultant training for you guys. So just start it the right way so you just continue doing it the right way. You know, it's a lot easier than making the mistakes. Okay, years ago, I heard time management called self-management. And my unit members hear me say that all the time because no one can manage time. We can't manage time, but we can manage ourselves, right? We all have the same amount of time in the day. It's just how do we use that time that we have that we're faced with. But I also think we use time as an excuse a lot of times. We don't have a lot of time because of family activities, or we're always doing things with the kids, or we have youth group, or we have small group that we go to, or we're doing sports events with the kids. But interestingly enough, most people that have risen to the top of our company are people that are the busiest people I have ever met in my entire life. A lot of people working to become nationals. You hear these stories where some of them are on chemo and they're going to all these sports events with their kids and all this stuff, and they're working to become a national sales director. So just keep in mind, it's really just all how we manage ourselves. So I have some suggestions for you because I really think you need to, how we spend our time is the best commodity that we have. And if you're not organized or structured by person, or if you're not a structured person by nature, you can learn and train yourself how to be more structured. So I'm actually going to teach you how to do that today. But the question that I want you to ask yourself is, are you busy or are you productive? There's a difference. We can feel busy all the time. Our wheels are always spinning. But are we actually producing anything during the time that we feel like we're busy? So shuffling papers around, organizing product on their shelves, those are busy tasks, but they're things that really anybody can do. But you are the face of your own company. You need to be out with the people, booking appointments, coaching hostesses, connecting with guests, conducting, your events and your parties. Everything else can be done by somebody else, technically, or can simply be done in non-people time. We like to say 9 to 9 is people time. So anytime before 9 a.m., be doing stuff with the papers and the emailing and all that kind of stuff, text messages, whatever. Well, maybe not text messages. Don't contact people usually before 9 o'clock unless it's just somebody that's just how you've set up communication with them. But you could be doing like Facebook messages or stuff on social media or something like that before 9. And then after 9 p.m., I typically train people don't do a lot of contacting after like 8 or 9 p.m. just because people are doing stuff with their kids or their grandkids or whatever. just tell yourself, just train yourself that you can't do anything but income producing activities. So we call those IPAs, income producing activities, during those hours, and then it will cut down on the mismanagement of yourself, of your time. Okay, so first I want to show you a weekly plan sheet. Okay, now I am not suggesting that every week of your life that you need to fill out one of these, but I was challenged one time by a friend of mine to like, I'm always teaching about weekly plan sheets, but I wasn't necessarily myself. Like, I go through these waves where I'm really good at getting my time down on my time sheets, and then I go through times where I'm just like, what is wrong? Why am I all over the place? And I had a sales director friend. She said, Jen, are you doing your weekly plan sheet? And I'm like, no, I am not. Like, oh, you know? And she goes, I'm challenging you to do your weekly plan sheet for 2 weeks. And I'll tell you the other challenge she gave me at the very end of this training. But she said, for 2 weeks, I want you to put every single thing that you can and cannot do on the weekly plan sheet, and I want you to follow it to a T. And it changed my life. I'll never forget it. For like 2 years solid after she gave me that challenge, I was on it. Like, every single thing I trained myself. I couldn't answer the phone during this time. I couldn't answer text messages during this time. If it said I was with my kids, I didn't do anything but with my kids. I did not answer the phone. It's really interesting how training yourself to stay within these boundaries will be so freeing. It was the most free I'd ever felt. Before that, I was just answering the phone whenever it rang, and I was just talking to consultants and talking to customers and all of this stuff all over the place, and I just didn't feel free, you know? And being with my kids and stuff, it's really, really important to me. And so it was the most freeing experience of my whole life. So I would challenge you to do that. So I'm just going to show you kind of what mine looks like, but every season of your life is going to look different. Okay. So like, for example, this starts Sunday. Sunday through Saturday is our Mary Kay weeks. So on Sunday, I have marked off church, don't do any work. And then like on Wednesday mornings, don't do any work. I'm at Bible study. Do you see this though? Pretty much every morning from about 8 till about 2, I work. Mary Kay, Mary Kay, Mary Kay, okay? And then I have, yellow is my kids, okay? So like, or time off. And here it says kids. So one of the things that I used to do is when my kids were in the car and I was taking them to sports stuff and stuff, I would still schedule like appointments in the car. Like, you know, we have our Bluetooth. So, you know, I would still, okay, that was not a good idea. Then my kids thought Mary Kay was horrible. You know, so be really careful about when you're with your family, be with your family. Those are some of the best conversations you'll have with your kids and grandkids is in the car. So I definitely got to a point where I was like, that is all I'm doing when I'm in the car with my kids. All the other time in the world, as soon as they started getting older, I didn't see them as much. So car time was a huge deal. Like, that was the only time I got to spend with them. And so now, you know, I really made sure that I was not doing I didn't schedule anything during that time. And then I only work 3 nights a week. I've consistently only worked 3 nights a week for most of my career, and I'm doing just fine. So you can do it. But I think if you have this on the fridge where you are showing your family, this is when I'm working, they're not going to question it so much. They're going to get used to it, and they're going to know where mom is on Mary Kay nights, or they're going to know where mom is during certain hours of the day. I work usually 1 or 2 weekends a month now, and I always only work Saturday mornings. I've never been big on working Saturday afternoons or evenings. I want to have the whole rest of the day free with my kids and my family. Sunday afternoons, they all know between 2 and 4, I might be doing a share appointment, but that's it for that day. So, you know, they'll get used to it. They'll know what to expect. So I would highly recommend doing this, and especially in like summer times when your kids are home from school, or if you have grandkids that you're watching and they're out of school for the summer, create something like this so they know what to expect. All right, let me show you this. This is so cool. This is called an income producing activity sheet. And I'm going to explain it to you, but you're going to have it in front of you. So do you see these boxes down here? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So what this is saying is Um, are you a part-time beauty consultant with Mary Kay? If so, you'll do 5 income producing activities per week. Okay? And you can mark them off as you go along. So we made this so it was perfect to fit into your date book. I have my date book here. I want to show it to you. Hold on just a second. Okay, so here's my date book, but these fit perfectly in here, okay? So you can actually track this, but I'm going to show you another little fun tool for your date book that's perfect, that fits perfectly in here. So basically, I want to tell you a little story. Well, first, let me finish telling you this. So you've got, and then if you want to be a full-time consultant, you would be doing 10 of those IPAs, income producing activities, per week. And if you wanted to go on target for the car or become a sales director, you would do 15 of these per week. Okay, but this works. These really work. So I want to explain what's inside this box here. Okay, so this box is what is income producing activities. What will be things that will help you make money, and even some of these long term they are income producing activities. So some of these may not look like they are, but they are. Okay, for example, going to your meeting. That doesn't sound like an income producing activity, but you guys, those who show up, go up. And it's been that way forever, and it will always be that way. So that's one of the income producing activities. But it says A is 1 skincare class, B is 2 facials or an on-the-go appointment, which like this morning, I went and did an on-the-go. I just delivered to this lady, but I said, hey, can I do a foundation matching with you with our new foundations? She said, sure, come on in. Didn't take me very long at all. It took me like 2 minutes to foundation match her, although I spent like 30 minutes talking to her. But, that was an on-the-go appointment, okay? C is 2 new bookings. D is $100 in retail customer service, website orders, brochure sales, whatever. E is 1 marketing tape. You guys, okay. 1 marketing tape, follow up with questionnaire completed. That is the old-fashioned version of a share appointment, okay? So somebody could listen to a marketing recording like I have for my unit, or you could, if you aren't in my unit and you're watching this video, you could use mine. It doesn't matter. Just have them listen to something, and then they fill out a questionnaire, or a guest slip or something, putting their interest level scale like 1 to 10 on there or whatever. F, 1 team building share appointment with questionnaire completed. So same thing. So either watching a recording of something or listening to something, or doing it face to face. G is 1 guest event to a unit meeting. H is 7 new names and numbers, and I is 1 new team member. Okay, so those are what is income producing. But you guys, even if it's not in the box, I think you know what's income producing. Shuffling papers at home, anything that's you not face to face talking to a customer, or doing something for your future with your business. I think you get it. Okay, so here's the story that I'll tell you. Rebecca Melton is one of my sales directors now, and she was a consultant in my unit. And she, when she started, she had been in a car accident several years before that. She had a photography studio, big 1,500 square feet, photography studio in like a strip mall here locally in Wichita, Kansas. She was living her dream, and she got in this bad accident, and she had to have lots of pins put in her wrists and ankles, and so she couldn't hold a camera anymore. And so she ended up going, and she started working for a Christian radio station here in town. And so she was working about, I don't remember how many hours she was working. I think like 30 hours a week or something like that at the time. I could get that wrong. But I think she was doing that. She was also homeschooling her kids full time. And she was in physical therapy at that point every single day, 5 days a week, okay, for several hours every day. It was a lot, okay? This car accident was really, really bad. So she was in a pretty, she was doing intense physical therapy. So she calls me one day and she goes, Jen, here's the deal. I need to replace my income with this business, and I need to become a sales director, but I only have 5 hours a week. Can I do it? I was like, oh, well. I was like, I didn't want to tell her no, because I'm like, you know what? anything could happen. I mean, I've seen it all. I've heard it all. At seminar, you hear these people that just don't have a car and they become a national or something, just crazy stories. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to tell her she can't do it on 5 hours a week. But the majority of people need about 15 hours a week probably to become a sales director. But maybe you can't. So I said, you know what? The good news is, Rebecca, you can do whatever you want. If you can figure out how to do it in 5 hours a week, that'll probably be the most creative 5 hours a week I've ever seen in my life. But if you can do it, I believe you can do it if you believe you can do it. So she is the one that developed this. And then she did this. They're so cute. Okay, so she cut these up, little teeny tiny boxes. And she took her date book and she put them in here on every single week. Do you see? They're pasted in here. She put it at the bottom of every single week. And I am telling you right now, she could not sleep until by the end of that week, until every single one of these had something in it. She had to check off that she had done something, 15 activities in her 5 hours a week. Can you believe that? And she did it. And she became a sales director in 10 months and won her car within 11 months or something. I mean, she won her car right after she became a sales director. So you guys, you can do it. It just takes discipline, So I always like to tell that story. Okay, so a couple tips for you for busy moms, okay? Because I've been there. I've had the 3 little kids. We've done homeschooling. We've done private schooling. We've done public schooling. We've done online schooling. We're doing a mixture of all of it right now. So I hear it. And my husband's in the military. And I mean, I understand busyness. So I can help you figure out how to work this business in and around your life. But for busy moms, use car time when waiting for your kids. So like if you're driving all over the place, doing stuff with kids, utilize the few minutes you have when you're waiting for your kid while they're doing soccer practice or baseball practice or whatever. I used to have things at baseball practice sitting there with me. I mean, I'm sitting there, why don't I work, And so that's when I would do my coaching with my hostesses. That's when I would do my follow-up calls. All of that was happening while I was still sitting there, okay? Okay, here's a challenge for you. Well, let me touch on having little tiny kids at home. When my kids were really little, I only worked during nap time. So there were just certain hours of the day. And then you're going to think this is kind of weird maybe, but my husband worked 3rd shift. So he was a police officer at that time. He is in the military, but he's in the reserves. And so he had a full-time job too. And so I would actually hire a babysitter. We had no money. Okay, this is before I became a sales director. This is in the very beginning of my business. We had no money. So I had to make money at my appointments in order to pay the babysitter. But I almost did it to play a game with myself. I have to do this because I was really, really shy when I started. And so sales were hard for me. It was not easy. Sales were not my thing. Relationship-based things, that's my thing. So I would actually schedule it where I was hiring a babysitter and I would go work when he wasn't home instead of when he was home. So I would schedule one night a week when he watched the kids when I was out. But the other 2 times I scheduled it when he was gone so that we would have time when we were all together and neither of us was working. So I just didn't want it to be where he was upset with Mary Kay, right? So really figure out what works for your family. It's not going to be the same for everybody. Some dads are different than other dads, And so I just had one night a week where he knew he was going to be watching the kids and I was either at my meeting or I was working. And the other 2 times I hired a babysitter and we just had this list of people that we trusted and I went down my list. And if you ever need names of babysitters, you can always call a local church, their youth group, and the pastor will probably give you a list of youth group girls' names. Just a little tip there. Okay, so I have a challenge for you. If you've never taken this challenge before, then a lot of people in my unit have already taken it, because I say this quite often, at least once a year. But I think you should take it again, even if you've already taken it before. But I want you to take off all audible notifications off of your phone. So not notifications. We all need notifications. I know this is just how we operate in the world today. But all audible. So no noises, okay, for at least a week or two, okay? And I want you to see how freeing it is to have scheduled time for when you're supposed to be on the phone and when you're not supposed to be on the phone. When it's audible and you're always hearing like ringing and text messages coming through and dinging and all this kind of stuff, it makes you feel a lot of stress that I don't think you realize you may feel. So make sure you take off all audible notifications. Only check your phone when you need to be checking your phone, and when you're not supposed to be checking your phone. I mean, you guys, right now it's hard. My phone's going crazy right now. But I'm doing this. You know, I need to pay attention to who I am across from. And this is important to me. And so you've got to make sure you realize that phone is only there for your convenience, okay? So that phone can be answered here in 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be answered right this second. Most of the time, people can live without us. I think we like to think that, you know, we're the moms and nobody can live without us. But the reality is they can, you know? So I would really challenge you to do that. So I would be really interested to hear who takes the challenge and how freeing you feel at the end of the week. And then number 2 is to do a weekly plan sheet. So challenge 1, take off all audible notifications, not notifications, but all audible, anything you can hear, okay? And number 2 is to do a weekly plan sheet. Do it for 1 week. And I want you to plug in every single thing you can possibly think of every single thing, okay? This is from this time to this time, you can answer the phone. From this time to this time, you are not going to pick up your phone. From this time to this time, you're going to be out making deliveries. And so if somebody happens to call you and says, hey, I really need my foundation, great. I'm making deliveries these 2 times this week. When would be best? Otherwise, you're free to come here and pick it up. I always am great with that, you know, whatever. So I'm saying, this is the date you're going to go mail your packages for out-of-town customers. This is the date that you're going to make sure you enter your sales slips into your you know, my customers or my business section of Mary Kate in Touch. You know, just have it all organized so that you know you're getting everything done, but it's all on the calendar, and then you're free. You're free, you know? So that's my 2 challenges. Staying organized is next, that I'm going to just go over real quick. So I have this kind of nifty little sheet. It was just a little pic collage I made up. But so just real quick, I just want you to know that you can get organized with Mary Kay for really inexpensive. And I want you to feel like you have to go and get all the amazing things that MK Connections has out for you. They do have a really nice color organizer, but you can also go get one of the binders, like in the section, like office section, and you could get a binder that's zippered, and you could go get top loading baseball card holders. You could put those in there, and then you could get these little Velcro things that are inside craft sections, and you just put them on the top of each of the baseball card holders, so that then when you shut your binder, everything doesn't go flying out. Okay, so it's at the very top of a baseball card holder, so you could stick your little cheat color samples in there, or eye colors or whatever, and then Velcro it shut. Okay, that's one way you could do it, and it's way less expensive than getting the color organizer. Another thing is, most people can fit most of their inventory just on these plastic shelves from Walmart. They're usually under $20. They're just a little plastic shelves, each one of these little white legs. It's just, you just put them together. You just stick them together. That's what I had my product on for the first like 3 years of my business, before I got like some big shelves, kind of like this thing behind me. It kind of had shelves that kind of opened and closed, and I only did that because I started my toddlers were starting to get into things and pull things off the shelves, and eat lotions and all that fun stuff. So the other thing is, for little things, for years and years, we used a fishing tackle box. Isn't that funny? You see this? Had a top section that would open up and then a bottom section. And this Plano brand with the kind of blue see-through blue-green top and then kind of a tannish grayish bottom part, it was perfect. It held all of our lipsticks and glamour items perfectly. So, but now you guys at Michael's and Hobby Lobby and all these amazing places that are for crafter kind of people, scrapbooking people, they have got so many cute carrying cases now that would hold your glamour supplies. So don't feel like it has to be stuff that's expensive. The other thing I see a lot of girls do is this. They have those little shelves that have cubbies and you can put baskets in them or whatever, and put your product like in those drawers, or the plastic drawers. Lots of people just get those 3 plastic drawers and you just keep your product in there. So those are just some easy ways that you guys can get organized. I just don't want you to feel like it has to cost you a lot of money, because it doesn't. It just doesn't. Also, keeping track of your sales slips. You're going to want to keep track of all of your sales slips for the end of the year for taxes. You can just put them in a manila envelope, or you can go get an accordion file and just have it by month. But anything that you do for your business, anything. Before I came over here, I went to Sonic and I got a pop. It's a tax deductible thing. I'm here working and I was using it because I was going to be coming over to my friend Christy's house here. This is actually not my home. This is her Disney library. It's absolutely adorable. I don't know if you can see very much of it, but so cute. Anyway, they've got Disney everywhere. Isn't that so cute? Look at the little phone. Anyway, and you know, this was a tax write-off to come here and work. And so I was able to write off that. That's going to go in my manila envelope. So I have my receipts in one manila envelope and I have my sales slips in my other one, okay? And I am semi-organized, but I'm not as organized as I could be. So all of my sales slips are just in there, and then I just put them into the computer once a month. You just need to do whatever system you want to do, but you do need to keep your sales slips for record keeping at the end of the year. Let's see. Hold on just a second. We're at 32 minutes. So one of the things that I was going to go over with you is active status. So I've got this nice little sheet, and it's just nice because it just kind of shows, like, you know, if you place your first order, let's say you place your first order in February, you're going to be active, which means you can place any size order at 50% off. So once you place that very first order, the minimum order right now in 2019 is $225 wholesale. It might be different when you watch this video, but it's been $225 for a really, really long time now. So let's say you place your $225 in February. Then you can place any size order in February, March, and April, anything you want, okay? But I want you to be really careful how often you place orders. You need to make sure that you realize, you know, we pay that shipping just once. We pay the shipping regardless of what the size or the weight or anything. So right now it's $9.35 shipping. So we're going to pay that regardless if it's a $9 order, $90, $900, $9,000, right? Well, on a $900 or $9,000, that's a really great shipping order. You know, it's really great to just pay $9 and something cents. But listen, on smaller orders, that's not, sorry, my computer here I'm on an iPad, so there we go. But you know, you just need to be careful. So let's say you don't have inventory on hand yet, or let's say you're building inventory slowly. Then you can just tell your customers, hey, this is let's say it's Monday or Tuesday and you're getting orders, or Sunday or whatever. Just say, hey, I'm placing my order on Friday. Just place an order maybe 2 or 3 times a month. Just tell your customers when you're placing your order, and then tell them your goal, though, is to be able to have those items for them when they run out. So especially their cleanser, their foundations, just the really high reorder stuff people don't want to be out of, and they get grumpy if they don't have it. So just tell them, hey, I'm going to place an order this Friday. and I'm going to get you your foundation, but I'm going to get an extra one to have on hand. So next time you need it, I'm just going to have it right away. That way they learn to trust you. You're going to have their stuff for them. But you guys, most people in the very beginning of your business, they're supportive of you. And so just know they want to support you. And it's okay, to tell them in the beginning, hey, I'm building my inventory. What you don't want to do, though, is you don't want to, place $10 orders in a month. Okay, that's just not being a wise use of your money. We don't want to pay shipping, $100 in shipping. So that's what you don't want to do, okay? Well, let's say, okay, so you place your $225 order here, and it's going to make you active the month that you place your order and the following 2 months. But you guys, if you don't order during the whole rest of this time, and you don't order again in May, and you don't order again in June, nothing happens to you. It's just the minimum order is $225. And so that's just going to start over again the next time you place an order. Okay. So, but this is just a nice little chart that just kind of helps people understand. The other thing is during your active status period. So, let's say you order your $225 in February. In March, you order 100 in the beginning of the month. And then at the end of the month, you need a little bit more. So you order another 125. They're going to take that combination, and that's going to be $225 wholesale together, and it's going to reset your status for another 3 months. So every time you place $225 in a month, it's going to reset that status for another 3 months, even if you're in that time frame of active status already. They're just saying anytime you order $225, great, we're going to reset that status again. So, and you guys, it is normal for active status and inactive status to be confusing at first, but you will get it. And if you are even just doing a little bit with your business, you're not going to run into problems with this. But if you're the kind of person that is only doing this for your own personal use, you'll probably just want to order enough to have for that 3 months or for the next 6 months, and then just know when you're placing your order. And if you do have some customers, just let them know that those are the dates that you're going to be ordering. Okay. So I was going to go over a little bit about the Great Start Qualified. I sometimes when I'm doing this new consultant session number 2, I just see how much time we have, and usually right about now we still have some time. So I want to mention a couple things before I forget. There is a really nice You Were Meant to Be Debt Free. This kind of teaches you how you can do a loan to yourself in the beginning to get the product, but then make sure you become debt free. You don't need to you can pay off your loan to yourself very quickly. So this is just kind of it kind of teaches you how you can pay yourself off but not be like panicking the whole time. So it says, for example, sell $200 per week. That's $800 of income for the month. You can take $100 to pay off your loan, $400 to replace your product, and give yourself $100 of fund money, and then $200 to pay off other debt. And it's just kind of helping you learn how to manage the debt in your life. A lot of people have it, and so this is just a way that it can help train you how to make sure you're paying yourself off, plus giving yourself a little bit of a paycheck too. So, all right. So this is the kind of stuff that's inside your packet. And you guys, let me just mention really quick. I'll just finish with this. This Great Start program with Mary Kay. I hesitate to have it on the video because we don't know how long this is going to be around for, but whatever rewards, let me just say this, whatever rewards Mary Kay has for you whenever you're watching this video at whatever year you are, and every year right now is getting better, and so I have no doubt Mary Kay is just going to keep getting better and better. But you guys, take advantage of as much free stuff as you possibly can. Mary Kay is giving you free product to help you be able to have that to either sell at 100% profit or to help build your inventory. Okay, so like right now, there's a lot of advantages to team building. And in your first 4 months, all the team members that you bring on, for every qualified team member, you're going to get a bundle that you pick of product for free. So it just kind of dawned on me that because I'm videoing this, like, because this is, a lot of these rewards change. And so I don't want to get too much into it. You're going to go over this with your sales director or with me or whoever's doing your inventory talk with you. But you guys, all of these rewards are here to help you. So make sure you take advantage of as much as you can. And so actually, so I decided I won't go over that, but I will tell you this. Okay, I want you to have this is something that I think a lot of people, we forget to tell you to print off. So when you're on Mary Kay InTouch, there's a search bar. And if you just type in advance, ADVANCE, advance. You just type that in. Print that off. Print off the brochure. Don't look at the one that's the at a glance, because that's just a shortened version. But you guys, all of the rules for becoming a car driver or a sales director, or going from, you know, consultant to senior consultant to star team builder and so on and so forth, all of the rules are in here. See, this is the at a glance. It's just really like basic. We don't want that. That's good, career at a glance. But what we want is this. It is detailed information on every single thing and all of your commissions that you can earn. Senior beauty consultant, it just goes through like, okay, you can earn up to this much percentage. And so make sure I like to have this all the time, because when consultants are like, hey, what are the rules for how many people do you need to have active to go on target to do this or that? And if I have this at my fingertips all the time, I just like to have it printed out and have it in a notebook with me all the time. So then I'm reminding myself too of the rules for things. So this is a way to that you don't always have to be at the mercy of your sales director being available to help you, you know? So like this is really nice. Right now, Star Team Builder just changed this year, 2019, and they have it now tiered where you can earn a lot more money. So 6%, 8%, or 4%, 6%, and 8%. And it's based on how much your team has done in that calendar month. And so they're going to pay you a percentage based on how much is coming in, which one thing that's really cool about that, just so you know for the future, it's really awesome that they're doing it that way now, because that's actually how you're paid as a sales director too. So I think it's really neat how Mary Kay is just really structuring it so that it's very consistent at every level based on how we're paid, whether you're just a senior consultant or have 3 or 4 active team members or 5 to 7 or 8+. It's all based on the same thing, and it's based on how much your team is working that month, and then that is what you're paid on the 15th of the next month. But it's a percentage of whatever that total is. But I just wanted to mention that this advance brochure is amazing, and you should always have it printed out. And if anything changes, discard the one you've got printed out and then print out another one. And that way you always have that stuff right in front of you. And so, yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, look at that. My alarm just went off. So, but I've really enjoyed teaching you today, and I hope that this is helpful. I think I stayed under 45 minutes, so that's good. And write down any questions you have. I would love to answer them for you, or whoever your sales director is watching this. So, yeah. So thank you so much.